we're back.
And we're back.
Fudge, you were gone, except you were somewhere cool. Listen, I was gone.
I was actually somewhere hot, so.
I was at the Hoffman location last week. We only had 2 videos, and they were mid. They were mid.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
I don't even remember what they were, and I made them. One was the 650S, and I literally can't. Oh, Nick's video with the Golf R. That was
probably
it.
why I didn't watch it. Anyway.
Chill.
I'm just kidding. Love you, Nick.
What do we got in the bay?
So what we have here is a 17340.
Okay.
So a Gen 1 B58. This one has an upgraded Pure 800, I think. Full ethanol, full bolt-on, putting down probably a little bit over 650, somewhere around that range. So it's making good power. We've been facing a fueling issue with the car. So come to find out, I'll have to show you up top to explain it.
Yeah.
But basically, what was going on here is that this car is port injection.
Okay.
So this is your port injection T. So this line right here comes from the tank, right? And it feeds the port injection rail, but then it also feeds the high pressure fuel pump.
Okay.
So this was kind of like this. Well, this has a low pressure sensor in here, and then it has this in here. So it's already looking kind of janky just with everything. And then this was actually going into the flex fuel sensor, which was held on by worm gears, which is 100% not the correct way to do this.
Okay.
And then our big issue, right, was this line right here. So this line was going to the high pressure fuel pump. This is a B58 TU pump. So basically it's out of the newer Supras. It's a little bit stronger pump, does great. If we look here, this is the AN fitting, right? There's nothing in here to seal on the fitting for the high pressure fuel pump, which I can explain later, because I already had put the hard line in.
Okay.
But basically the OEM hard line has like a bubble fitting at the end that sits in a bevel on a male thread. So this threaded on the pump, but it would actually lose fuel pressure because it couldn't seal the
Was it leaking as well, or?
So it wasn't leaking. It was leaking here. Okay. So the problem here, and I have a picture of it, is there's a metal line right here. So you have your plastic line that comes from the tank, and this clicks into a metal line up here. It's a little bit hard to see.
Okay.
But the metal line has like a rubber coating on it, and somebody, when they clicked that line on, somebody might have nicked the rubber line, and it actually damaged the O-rings on that quick disconnect, and it was causing fuel to not to leak, but you can smell it, like it was in the air.
Okay.
So that's all gonna get, everything is gonna get redone. So basically what we're doing is, I call it Precision Raceworks. We got a line from going from the tank, replacing this entire fuel line here.
Okay.
Because this customer runs E85 a lot, like almost fully 85 all the time. That's gonna eat through this plastic eventually.
Right.
And then you're gonna have a big problem. So we got all the PTFE line going in from the tank all the way up to this metal line.
Yeah.
That metal line goes up, goes to the OEM hard line, right to the pump. We're gonna have our flex sensor, we're gonna have our low pressure fuel sensor for tuning, and the car's gonna be made. So
Sweet.
We're not gonna have fuel pressure issues. We're gonna be solid. That's all we can do.
Awesome.
So yeah, we gotta get this bad boy out there.
Thanks, Fudge.
No problem.
Smells like gas.
Smells like ethanol. Come on, Nick's gonna be like, oh, my hair's gonna fall off.
It's already gone.
It's already gone.
Who do we got with us today?
That's Henry.
And what's Henry doing with you?
So Henry is going to be an internship for 2 weeks
Okay.
for his school. He's going to do a week with me and a week with Brett.
A week with Brett.
Want a couple days with him?
We could.
So he's going to learn the automotive part, mechanical, hands-on with me, and he's going to learn kind of how to like run the shop with Brett, order parts, make bills,
Okay.
tell customers their cars aren't done yet, everything that Brett does. Why there were so many cars scheduled and we need to get to it. Pretty much everything Brett does.
Okay.
Okay. So then Brett, he's with me today.
All right.
So what we did is, so far,
Henry, can you explain to us what we did?
We've taken the blower off so far. I'm going to do a carbon cleaning on the test one.
A carbon clean?
Yeah, so we took the blower off. So right now me and Henry have the supercharger off.
Yeah.
Showed him all the basic knowledge on like pretty much how to work with, badge clips, Volkswagen, Audi. Like the clips are, it's not like a Toyota or a Ford. It's just, they're very, you gotta be gentle with them, you know?
I get it. I get it.
So now what we gotta do is, since we have the blower off,
Yep.
we have to take the fuel lines off.
Okay.
And we're going to take these runners off.
Yeah.
Once we take the runners off, we're going to get to the actual intake valves. Once we do that, we're gonna go take my carbon clean machine from Joe, that Joe's using.
We can't see him.
And we're gonna start, doing it. So we'll get back to you on seeing, we'll show you how dirty the valves are.
Right, right. And we got all new gaskets, everything.
We got I made Henry go up to Brett and slap Brett in the back of the head and make sure that the gaskets were ordered, because I asked Brett to do that Friday and they're
not
do
here.
it.
Yeah.
So now I had to put Boss Man in charge.
Yep.
And yeah, we're gonna get it done,
Thanks, Nick. Well, Nick, you ready?
Yeah. All right. So valve 1 is a little bit open, so we're not gonna blast it. But basically, what I do is cylinder 2 and 3. Let me show you the worst. So 1 is the worst. See the chunks on it, okay? Yeah. And then number 5 here, the chunks on it.
Okay.
Okay. Now what we do is we just take a screwdriver and very carefully we scrape all the carbon clean machine could do everything.
Okay.
But what we do is we take off the big chunks off the valves first. Okay. And then whatever's left is obviously, so that's not touched right there, right? And then that's very gently touched by me. Okay. See, just the big chunks off, right?
Right.
Now we're gonna get the carbon clean machine and we're gonna finish it up.
Where's the machine?
It's right over here.
Okay, thank you, Tommy.
Where's the machine, Nick?
It's right over here usually.
Well, who's got it?
Joe? Joe?
Joe's got it?
Joe?
Well, yes, Nick.
Oh, that's weird. It's my carbon clean machine. That's weird. I think Bryce should buy one for the shop.
Joe, what do you got?
Oh, I got my scanner that I use for the shop.
Got my carbon clean machine. $1,000 for the shop.
And so you can't do the job right now?
So I guess I can't do the job. So Henry, let's go to Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm done. You can use it.
That's all right. I'm taking a break.
2 hours later.
What do we got?
Still look after Joe. Henry, what do we got here?
I don't know, really.
You have your gun permit?
No.
Well, now you do.
There's the carbon clean machine.
So, the guys over at 034 Motorsport made it pretty easy to do a carbon clean on like a 2.0, but it works on the 3.0 heads, 4.0, So, we're gonna stick it on.
So that goes on the vacuum part?
Yep. Oh, that just sucks up everything too. Yeah. Blow and suck at the same time.
We got that.
Very nice. Now we need air, Henry. Shop air. Take the gun.
So that stays right on the valve like that?
Stays right on the valve. You could do this, the inner valve, and what you'll do is you'll flip it, you'll do the outer one.
It's cool that it's stuck right on there.
And then what we'll do is we'll put this in.
Once we get air to it.
Nate didn't hook up the air yet, so.
And blast it. And just a click of a button.
And if you want to see if they're working, chill. Yeah. So within a couple seconds, the valve. I mean, that's just probably like 5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
You can start to see the copper valve.
Is that?
Yeah. So we're gonna work with it a little bit more, you know.
Sweet. Do the other side.
Meanwhile.
Hey Nick, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the viewers why doing a carbon clean is so important?
Oh my God. I'll explain it for you.
Thanks, Nick.
So it adds 100 horsepower. Done.
We're waiting.
So, if the valve gets really gunked up,
Yep.
and the amount of carbon that's on the valve is not allowing the valve to open or close like the correct way, you get really bad misfires on cold start.
Okay.
When it tends to like heat up and you're at proper operating temperature,
It clears out a bit.
carbon like melts down a little bit and it allows it to like the valve to properly like open and close. You get rid of those, cold starts. So when someone tells me that, do they need a carbon clean? Yeah, I ask them how their cold starts are. I ask them the mileage. Usually it's around like every 30K.
Okay.
But I ask them the mileage that they're at and how their cold starts are. And when it's done, what I get out of it is, oh my God, Nick, there's a huge difference in performance. Because a lot of the times they didn't even buy the car new.
Right.
So like they never knew what it felt like because they probably bought it with carbon anyway. But
Right, it was all gunked
even if
up.
they did buy it new, they go, oh my God, all my power's restored. The car drives night and day. The car idles night and day. My cold starts are very, very clean and smooth. And my fuel economy, is a lot better. Basically, there's a lot of advantages to carbon clean. I know it's not the cheapest thing, but
Right.
it's worth it. You know what I mean?
And yeah, they came out really nice. Those this side.
I mean, compared to
What it was
you have the
before.
old one, right? Yeah.
Well, thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Henry.
Thanks, Henry.
2 hours later.
Well, Fudge, how'd the fuel line install go?
Excellent. So we got a new line from the tank all the way up.
Okay.
Flex fuel sensors in line. Low pressure fuel sensors in line. We have the correct amount of fuel pressure. We have the correct sealing. Everything is good.
Cool.
So now what we're going to do is, because they were trying to band-aid the issue a little bit by adding fueling into the tune, So we're gonna log it. We're gonna make sure everything's good, and then if there's any adjustments that need to get done, we'll go from there.
Sweet. So we got the computer here, and we'll do a little log.
The Broncos got
The Broncos,
the top off.
yeah, the top's off today, Fudge. We took it to Tommy's, and Nick's bald head was gleaming in the sun.
He probably has sunburn now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here we go. Start the log.
We'll try this at home, kids. Or we're gonna wait till we get around. We're going up a hill so I can get as much load on the car as possible to try and expedite if there is any issues. Because I want the car working as hard as possible.
Okay.
So.
Sweet.
Like a solid 40 miles per hour.
Yep.
Yeah. It felt good.
Felt really good.
Before the car would lose fuel pressure, it would cut. It would feel like somebody smacking you in the face.
Okay.
So to have a full pull on this car it's a win.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fudge.
B58.
Thanks, Fudge.